Hello everyone, I hope you guys are having a good Wednesday. It's June 17th, and I'm here with a severe weather video. I'm sorry I have not been posting for the past couple days. I've been kind of taking a break from YouTube because the weather's been kind of calm, with not much going on, but it looks like it's starting to ramp up severe weather-wise again. Not tropics. The tropics are still are pretty calm. But this is my severe weather outlook for today. Mine's kind of similar to the SPC. So today I have a marginal risk in eastern North Dakota, central and eastern South Dakota, northern Nebraska, and a little bit of western and northwestern Minnesota there. Main threats inside of this, there's a lot of wind, likely, and some small to medium, or small to moderate size hail, up to around 2 inches, I'm thinking. And then I do have a slight risk going from eastern North Dakota through central central South Dakota into northern Nebraska, and in northwestern Minnesota I have that slight risk also. Then the big difference between my forecast and the SPC is I did put an enhanced risk in. It was kind of hard to figure out where this enhanced risk was going to be placed, but I placed it right here in northern South Dakota and northeastern North Dakota. That's today's outlook. And please subscribe. This took me around an hour to make. It's kind of hard. I'm starting to use AWIPs to make my forecasts. A lot of people use AWIPs to make their severe weather forecasts or convective outlooks. The SPC actually uses AWIPs, but I like it also. The SPC is different from this, but yes. All right, now this is my day 2 outlook for tomorrow. I have a marginal risk from Minnesota down through Nebraska and the Kansas and the northern Oklahoma and northwestern Missouri, Iowa, Wisconsin, and a little bit of UP and Michigan. This area up here is barely marginal risk. There's not a lot of CAPE, very poor soundings. Temperatures are pretty low, in the 60s only. But down here, I think I even put a slight risk in for Omaha, Nebraska, northern Kansas, and Iowa. And I think this is going to be the bigger area. This is mainly for wind tomorrow. I think there's going to be some wind, but we do have I did put a 2% area in for tomorrow. This is June 18th. This is tomorrow. I have a 2% tornado area going through Kansas up through Iowa, Omaha, Nebraska. You are in that. And 2% is only marginal risk, or is only a marginal for tornadoes. It's not like a slight risk or anything. So we don't have a slight risk for tornadoes. We have a slight risk for wind and hail. But I think 2% is going to be. I think we could see maybe. I got some really good soundings around the Omaha, Nebraska area for day 2. Now let's start to actually look at the models. Okay, so we're gonna be kind of doing a quicker video today again. I'm sorry about this. I'm kind of running low on time. I'm kind of busy actually. But this is our. We're gonna be looking at this some ingredients today. This is our dews this afternoon for. This is this afternoon for our enhanced risk area. So we have good dews. We have 60 dews all the way up through a lot of our area of severe weather today. Where I have my enhanced risk, we have dews around 70. So that's definitely good. We have plenty of moisture today for some severe weather to happen up in the northern plains. Now let's move over here to CAPE. All right, so CAPE this afternoon is pretty good. We have a lot of CAPE in central and eastern South Dakota, even a little bit of Minnesota. We have a lot of CAPE. Today we have CAPE up to around 3,500 in a lot of areas. So we definitely are good with that. Now let's look at LCL height. This can kind of tell you. So what LCL height means is it means that's where the base of the storm is likely going to set up, or what the height of it's going to be. So if you have LCL heights of around 1,500 plus, the tornado risk is fairly low with storms, because that means that they're really elevated. But I like to see around 1,000 or lower LCL heights. Now this afternoon, LCL heights are setting up kind of elevated in this area here. So I think the best, if I was going to put a 2% in, I'd put it right there. You guys can see that for today. Because LCL heights are around 900 in that area, and they're too high to the east. Now I do want to let's look at a lifted index today. This pretty much measures lift, the lift in the atmosphere. We're not going to be really talking about tomorrow much in today's video because it's for today, but we have a lot of lift. This area negative 11, which is about what we see. So we have a ton of lift today. Now, before we look at bulk shear, which can give us an idea on our tornado potential, we're going to go to, well, let's look at the what's going on in the upper levels with the 500 millibar winds. This can give us an idea on what is actually happening in the upper levels. So what is happening in the upper levels is we have a large trough in the west, and this is going to be kind of feeling, not really feeling, but this is going to be kind of helping our severe weather here. We have a lot of 500 millibar winds in this area. We have a lot of divergence. This is setting up a severe weather day in that region. We have a large ridge in the east and a pretty good upper level low in the southeast right there, bringing flooding rain in this area. That's going to be setting up our severe weather for today. Now let's talk about, let's go a little bit later here. Let's go to Thursday. Thursday it's a little bit weaker, but we see it's going to be setting up severe weather in this area likely. And I think the highest wind damage threat's going to be in that area, so I'll probably extend my slight risk a little bit further north in tomorrow's video, or for tomorrow. Yes, all right. Now let's move back to severe weather, all right. Let's look at bulk shear. Now this can give us an idea on what we're going to be seeing tornado-wise. All right, let's go out to today, of course. So today, our high area of bulk shear, our trough here is kind of late. It's not really hitting the area. If it was hitting earlier, or if our trough was moving further east a little bit earlier, if it was setting up instead of if our trough is setting up, not there. If our trough is setting up not there, but here, we would be seeing a bigger tornado day. But we see bulk shear is very low, and it doesn't come until later. And then we could see maybe a little bit of bulk shear moving, but the trough is still too far away. So I don't think we're going to be seeing a big tornado threat today. But then for Thursday, for Thursday, we see, I think we could, my highest tornado area is this area. We see some decent bulk shear. And I got some pretty good soundings. So we're going to take some soundings for today in a second. Now the last thing we're going to look at for today, other than soundings, is supercell composite. Let's look at that. So supercell composite is very high in northern Nebraska, or in central North Dakota, around northeast of Bismarck, and in eastern South Dakota. So this also kind of contributes. My highest tornado threat is still that area right there. But yes. Now, I do want to take some soundings for today. Let's do that. So let's take some soundings. So this is an OOZ today. We have some activity maybe going on in northern North Dakota. Let's take a sounding for that little cell right there. I think it's going to kind of start overnight. It's we really can't trust that. It's very contaminated, as you guys can see, and I'll tell you guys about that. So if we see these large red lines heading over the sounding like this. This is one of the most contaminated soundings I've ever seen. A slightly contaminated sounding is where the lines are like this. A highly contaminated sounding is where the lines are like this. This is extremely contaminated. It's a marginal torus, but we really can't trust that because of how bad or how contaminated it is. It's got an O3Z here. Stick a sounding for this region. It's contaminated though. So if we can get there's a lot of contaminated soundings for today for some reason. I don't really know why. Stick a sounding here. All right, we got only a slightly contaminated sounding, so we can actually look at this. So this is in northwestern Minnesota. You see, directional shear is kind of poor, but directional shear up here is actually good. We got 37 knots of surface to 1 kilometer shear. Possible hazard type severe. This is a decent sounding here. 67 dew point, 82 degree temperature. We got good cape, but CIN, it's capped. Only slightly capped. If we can get a storm to break the cap with all that lift we have, all that throwing up, or not throwing up, but all that pushing up the lift, we could be seeing something up there. That's a decent sounding. Now let's take one in here in northeastern South Dakota. This is northeastern South Dakota. It's a none sounding, but we do have some decent shear. It's capped a little bit lower. It does have good directional shear, and you can see the speed. The speed also changes with height, which is good. Let's take a sounding for southeastern North Dakota here. Severe sounding, decent shear. Actually, that's not bad shear. We got pretty good winds out of the southwest at around 700. And then out of the south, we have winds at the surface, we have winds out of the south. That's decent. It's not the best. That's okay. Sorry about that. We do see we have some decent shear, but it is heavily capped, so we're likely not going to see anything there if it actually is capped. Let's take one more sounding before we end the video. Let's take one for maybe down in southern. Yeah, let's take one down here. So it's a severe sounding. It is extremely capped though. This is a pretty poor sounding. Yeah, we're gonna be seeing a lot of cap today. Tor sounding. I got a Tor sounding in northeastern South Dakota now. It's not contaminated at all. We got good cape. Shear is pretty good. It's actually not the best, but it's there. Yeah, we got some okay shear. It is a Tor sounding, 69 dew point, 78 temp, decent cape. It's only slightly capped. So if we have a ton of lift, and if we can get that lift to push up and break the cap, and for it to go above the cap, or for the storm to grow taller, we could be seeing these storms get tall if they can break the cap. We could be seeing maybe a tornado potential, which kind of leads me to think I think our highest not like that, but I think our highest tornado potential is going to be in this area, in southeastern to eastern North Dakota and a little bit of Minnesota, and from the soundings I'm taking. Yeah, that'll wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please subscribe, and I'll be posting again tomorrow. And peace out.